Hey, look at that. I have driven the wheels off that thing. Whoo-hoo, it's been fun. Out here grilling a hamburger. So the video you're watching, the boys did most of that work while Mrs. Paydirt and I and Griffey were in California. So we'll pick up from there and watch the rest of it. Okay, I'm over here where the boys are doing this cellar. Jake's got the footings dug out for the fan house, and now he's doing the footings for the exterior wall. And so I'm going to take all this material here and push it down here, get it out of the way. Okay, so what I gotta do is just keep pushing and then slowly lift up and get all these rocks out here. Now, when they're done with this, we'll have to come back, scraper, and fill all this in right there where Matt's walking and make a more gentle approach up into this. And no, we couldn't cut this down farther because there's rock in the bottom where he dug these footings, and that's where all that rock came from. So they had to raise this way up to make it work. And then also when they're done, those outer walls will be like 8 feet tall, and we'll have to take material and push up against the walls to give them insulation. So you put the dirt pretty flat, slope it up to the top of the concrete. So the camera shut off in the grader. It overheated. Can you believe that? Frank's got him a DJI. I can't remember what they call them. And it's got Bluetooth microphones. It's awesome. I need to get one of those. I think Frank likes it. Really likes it. So how come you're not using the grade control?
It worked.
Why?
Well,
no power again?
he can get pretty damn close when he touches one of my hubs out there and then says he got 8300s. But if he acquires the laser, it gives it a cut of 470 instead of
Okay, so that's why you ain't using the grade control. It ain't working right. Something's wrong. Don't know what. Well, yeah, Jake said that Kendall told Taylor that the concrete guy said that was the flattest basement they'd ever seen. I guess. Okay, I'm gonna fire up the horde and let her warm up and start moving some dirt. So let's see if it's even warm enough to just crank up without even using glow plugs. Start the back one. So ever since I started doing my own valve jobs, these scrapers front engines, they just fire up and run. No missing, nothing, no blubbering, they just fire up and go. And this little motor is like the forerunner to 3306. It's called an old scroll fuel system, but it starts pretty good too without glow plugs. That oil's so clean, you can't tell if it's full. So I got the water tanker going, and I've been using the grader, and I came over and graded all that dirt that I dumped in the entryway of that cellar. And now I'm gonna go get some water, and then this is the grubbing that they took off of the borrow source, and I bladed it out, and I'll put a little water on that because when the wind blows it'll be a dust storm from you know what. So as you were watching the video, I didn't get very good loads on the edges, because you have to cut a couple of times on the edges to keep them down and tilted the inside, or you start moving in pretty quickly. So when you load a scraper, what you never want to load in the same place. Unfortunately, in a hole like this, you have to on the outside edges, and in the middle what you want to do is split them, your tracks to load. It'll load a whole lot better. So on the FW here, we use a stinger type cutting edge, and what that is the center edge is down quite a bit more than the outside ones, and that's what most scrapers use, is a stinger type arrangement. And this baby has in the center, if I had the door open, bowl up, you could see it. So on this one, what we've done is we've put a 657 center edge on, because they are, I think, 19 inches wide, and we drop it down in the last holes, so we get a huge drop center, probably 4, 5, 6 inches. And the reason we do that with the whore is when we go out and we're push pulling with the other scrapers, and this material, sometimes you'll go down through the hard, well, the top of it, and then you'll hit a layer of hard pan, and that can be 1.5 feet, 2 feet deep, and the other scrapers will literally pick the back end wheels off the ground trying to get down in. And when you've got all that power behind you, you have to be careful, because you can lift your wheels off the ground and run your stinger through the radiator of the other scraper. So what we do is, when we get into that, we'll load the best we can, and with the front scraper, and then the second scraper, he can put it down a little bit more, and where he's getting pulled and pushed, he can bite it down in, but it still has problems. So when we run into those hard spots, what we do is, the filthy whore is the rear scraper, and with 2 of them pulling him, you can just drop that bowl with that big drop center through the hard pan and just tear through it like a ripper, and it'll break it up in chunks. And once he gets through that, then we come around again to load with the front scraper, you can get a load. So it works really well. It's no good for leveling or finishing because it's such a huge drop. Anyway, so this is all graded up. I just need to put some water on it, settle it down so they don't have dust. They're going to be here tomorrow to start working on it, and then, like I say, we're going to have to come back to put the dirts up along the side. And I'll come by later when we do that and show you how all this concrete's laid out and how those air plenums work. A CMP is a corrugated metal pipe, and the ones they use for cellars have they have lots of holes punched through the CMP, and they stick them in the wall, the center wall that divides the cellars, and that's the air plenum. And there's round cutouts in the concrete, and then there's a great big fan house that goes in here. And like I say, they can blow just regular air or if they want, they can put an AC unit in and keep them cool, or they can run moisture in. And the potatoes get piled on top of those pipes as they fill the center from the back to the front, and it covers those pipes. They get to the next one, they put in another row, and it'll go all the way over to that wall. Anyway, it'll run air through those pipes and up through those holes through the potatoes. Once the metal goes up, it's like a Quonset. They'll come in and they'll spray that with quite a bit of urethane foam for insulation, and they're pretty tight, and they will hold the cool air inside. So anyway, when they get the walls all done, they'll have to bring dirt in to fill in next to the footings, get the floor leveled up nice, get some water on it, get it packed down really good and hard like it is here, because when they come in to get the potatoes, these what we call a Spudnik. It's a scooper, and there's a guy that sits on it, and it goes into the potatoes, loads them on a belt, runs them out a conveyor out the back, and then they'll bring a semi truck in, and they'll have a big piler that goes in the truck, and they'll load the truck from the front to the back, and away they go. So hope you like French fries and potato chips and baked potatoes and all that good stuff made out of potatoes. I'm gonna get wet today. Yummy. So I need to turn on my timer, see how long it takes to fill this. I don't have to crawl up there and watch it. Let's see. Timer, reset. Okay, so it took about 8 minutes is all. I'm full. So away we go. Looks like this lady got her a load of gravel using the John Deere to spread her out. Brandon, a Takuchi with a mower on it. A Kuchi. T190. So it looks like somebody's been bringing Mr. Ballwater for his project, solar project. Okay, I got her spread, got everything covered, got this dusted down. So we've got 5 pieces of equipment to get out of here now. And then probably when they're done, we'll have to bring the excavator back and the loader. And maybe even the scraper. I don't know. I could probably load that over there with the scraper. So maybe just the excavator and the scraper. Use the scraper to bring the dirt up to the cellar and the excavator to place it. So, I need to go find something else to do. So, looks like they've poured some mud. Looks like this footing over here and about halfway around the back has been poured. We're here to get the 336. We got a canal emergency. They can't get their water. So stay tuned for what we're gonna do there. Anyway, yep, they got those footings done. That was fast. So Jake had to come back and dig more out of this because the plans he had didn't show it. So he did that this morning. Now we'll get the excavator loaded up. I always love these emergencies on a weekend, 4th of July weekend. That's awesome, isn't it? I'm hoping we can fix them up today. They've got 2 gates that aren't open. Anyway, I'll show you what's going on when we get up there, but we're gonna try to pull the gates open before we have to go out in the river and start hauling lava rock and doing all that fun stuff.